Alrighty.
Hey, welcome back to Tuesday. We're still going over 2014 in review.
Mm-hmm.
Up next is our FGC Members of the Year.
Yes. So these are people who contribute to the scene and don't necessarily play, but they definitely help. You know, like I said, last year, Mondo was my number one. Although he is amazing at games, a lot of people don't know this. He's super good at fighting games.
He is.
But, you know, obviously he does a lot of work. He streams all the time. He streams like 5 days a week or whatever like that. Never gets any sleep. Is uploading videos to YouTube after the tournament, like till 4 in the morning and stuff like that. So he was my number one person last year.
Yeah.
But this year, obviously, we have a new list of people. So
correct.
You want to go ahead and start?
I mean, that was my number 3.
Oh.
It's just like...
Sorry.
So I basically just did classes of people. I didn't do individuals.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Just could narrow it down. So
okay.
My number 3 is stream teams. Now, obviously, we talk about Mondo and Spooky a bunch.
Yes.
I don't think a lot of people know about Chris Seglia and crew, even though they probably should. Him, Harrison, and Nidal, and Hanzo Gonzo, and I mean, there's a lot of people who work on streams. But even on top of that, I don't want to just bar it off. I mean, there's a lot of people. But I think, like, in particular, I want to shout out the people who do their own streams. You know, like sort of smaller player streams, I think are really great. I want to see more of that.
Like PR Rog, Infiltration, those guys. Yeah,
exactly.
Justin's been doing a lot of player streams recently.
Exactly. Yeah. So, obviously they have a huge impact on the FGC. Being able to watch fighting games regularly is gigantic. Yeah. Art also. So.
Yeah, a lot of guys like, Panda X Gaming.
Yeah, Panda X Gaming is a good one.
I forgot, there was a couple of other ones that I've also gotten a chance to do some streams.
Oh, sure. Bunch of them this year. Yeah, Combat Network and Funky P. And all
sorts
of
Funky
people.
P, that's the one I was thinking of. Okay.
All right.
Okay, cool. My number 3 is actually one of the Canon Award winners, which was Winton Smith, a.k.a. Prague, right? So, if you guys don't know, he's one of the main commentators, well, I guess I should say was one of the main commentators for Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
And he retired, sort of. He kind of sort of retired because, he's been having a lot of health issues and stuff. But the reason why I wanted to shout him out in particular is because, not only is he a really good commentator and all these things like that, but, I follow him on Twitter. Super positive guy. Always fighting for, just bringing the community together, doing a lot of stuff, and just always trying to get, do things better for the community, whether it's Smash or even other games. Like, I know he went to NLBC 100 and he played Marvel there, and people were like, oh my gosh, he knows how to play Marvel and stuff like that. And, he's had a pretty crazy year this year. He got the Can Award, he kind of pseudo-retired and stuff like that. A lot of personal revelations about him and stuff like that. And he's just been going through a lot. And, to me, he's one of the most amazing people that I've met in the fighting game community. And so I definitely wanted to give him a shout out for that. So
okay. Sounds right. My number 2 is tournament organizers who are trying new things.
Interesting.
I really think that that's important.
Okay.
I feel like it's very important for bringing in new people and for maintaining older people. So 37 Reloaded is one of them. What Watson ran. I feel like that's really important for maintaining or for bringing people back. But at the same time, I really like what Jabali does with CEO and what Keats, well, I guess no longer Keats, but people in Chicago/Minnesota are doing for their tournaments. I like the little changes that Evo does. I like that Capcom ran the Capcom Cup and Pro Tour and all that stuff. I really like that the East Coast guys got together and had TFC. So I mean, there's a lot of new things going on that I am really happy about. I love seeing those things. Things that actually have been going on, but that we haven't talked too much about, like Topanga. I love the idea. I want to see more of it.
I mean, this January Master Series, right? It's like a Topanga, but somewhere else finally.
Exactly.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like that's really important for both new and old FGC members. So.
Okay, cool, nice. My number 2, you actually mentioned him already, is Chris Seglia.
Okay, cool.
So, I don't think a lot of people know who he is.
For sure they don't, because I know I've seen on Twitter some people specifically say like, who's Seglia?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys don't know who he is, if you've seen any of Maximilian's videos, one where Solid Snake is talking or whatever, that's Chris Seglia, because his voice just sounds like Solid Snake.
That's not literally him.
No, it is.
Is it literally? He literally does it?
Yeah, he did it. Maximilian got Seglia to do that voice.
I did. That's hilarious.
Yeah, he actually got Seglia to do the voice just for that video.
That's his real voice, though.
Yeah, that's his real voice. He just sounds that way. But
yeah.
No, I mean, honestly, the one thing about Seglia is people don't realize how important he really is to the entire FGC. Because he seems like this guy who's kind of behind the scene. He is the stream producer of EVO and at Capcom Cup.
Yeah.
He is the guy who basically runs all that stuff,
right?
Who directs it,
right? Picks commentators.
Yeah, and like here, this is the camera angle. You know, make sure everything runs on schedule.
Right.
He does. He is pretty much the man with the plan. I mean, when we did Aftershock a long time ago, that was a lot of his baby, and he did a lot of that stuff with all the videos and everything like that.
Yeah.
Look, the guy works in real TV stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's actually
in
his
sports,
job.
Yeah, he literally works in like sports broadcasting.
Right.
The guy knows his stuff. And without him, I feel like we would be that much further behind. And he is one of the guys who's always trying new things, and it's really cool. And his name should be a name that everybody in the FGC knows, and so that's why I have him here on my list. So.
That's great. I totally agree. I totally agree.
Yeah.
My number one is behind the scenes fighting game operatives in major companies.
In major companies.
Well, just in companies in general.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of sorry, I had this whole list. Combo Fiend, Matt D, Keats, Jabali, Filthy Rich. Mike Ross does that. I think a lot of people don't even know that. Paolo at NRS. There's a lot of people who are at a very high level now in decision-making capacities when it comes to game balance and when it comes to marketing. And those people, I think, are having a really direct effect on the fighting games themselves. Yes. Games come out and I feel like they're better balanced in part because of that. I mean, if you don't have Combo Fiend helping to do some of the things, and it didn't go entirely as he wanted, with Ultra.
Yeah.
But he's a major part of that.
I mean, what he did was very balanced and...
Correct.
That's all I'll say.
Okay, all right, for sure. But that's really important. And if you don't have like Matt D or Filthy Rich or something like that in a developer or publisher, then I don't think you get things that are as big community-wise either. So it's, I think we talked about this last year, but it's just really important for development, for growth, for finding new people, for making games better, all that stuff. So shout-outs to all those people. Yeah.
Okay. Well, kind of in tow with that.
Okay.
My number one guy actually is Matt Dahlgren.
Okay, cool.
And look, I'm not even gonna lie. When he first started taking over and stuff, I had my doubts about Mr. Matt DZ, right?
Yeah,
I was like, because I remember talking to him when Cross Tekken was coming out, and I had some conversations with her about gens.
I remember.
And I was like, I don't know. But I mean, let's face it, he has done amazing stuff.
Yeah.
And what he's managed to accomplish here, I mean, I know he's pretty much head of the, competitive gaming division at Capcom in the US, and that's where it all happens, right? Yeah. Everything that Capcom does in terms of competitive gaming, Capcom Pro Tour, all that stuff, that's all coming out of Capcom USA. Yeah. And Matt Dahlgren's the one in charge. He's the one who got Hans hired. He's the one who got Combo Fiend hired and everything like that. And as a result of a lot of his efforts and everything like that, we have Capcom Cup 2015 coming with 500,000 spread throughout the year. I mean, that's amazing to me. So, shout outs to him. I'm a believer of Matt DZ now. I am absolutely a believer of his. And, I even know, from a personal standpoint too, he's had a really great year. He's taking care of himself and all these things like this. So lots of great stuff coming to that guy. And I feel like he's one of the spearhead leaders in getting the FGC into a new place.
I agree with that.
So I had to put him as my number one, even though Seglia and Matt, I was like, but I had to give it to Matt. So.
Well, when I first did this list, it was just with individuals, and the people who were on it were Seglia and Matt D.
Really?
Yeah. And
That's
then
awesome.
the third individual was Mike Ross.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I just. he does a lot of that behind the scenes stuff. Very important behind the scenes work that people don't know. But at the same time, he's a really good and important host, and does good work on his own series of shows.
I mean, if I had a fourth place, I would have put him there.
Okay, you want to move on to?
I can never resist it. I can't.
Dude, the funny thing is that hasn't even come up in actually years, in literally years.
You know, but he actually.
But that's because he just hasn't been good.
Right? Yeah, fair enough.
It's been worse than fourth place.
No, he even said when he was playing what do you call it? Mario Kart. He kept finishing fourth or something like that. So yeah.
That's funny.
Okay. Well, let's go on to the next
story of the year.
Story of the year. Okay.
What do you got?
Okay. So I have to start off with a really sad story. I mean, it's really unfortunate that I have to bring this up, but this is something that's been happening in particular this year, and that is the passing of a lot of fighting game players. It's strange. It seems to have happened. I mean, we're actually 7 days off of the 1 year anniversary of when Remix passed away.
Right.
So even though that happened at the end of 2013, its effects were felt more through 2014. Right, so Remix passed away, and then really quickly afterwards, it was Jason Collins, I think it was. Was it Jason, or I want to make sure I get the name. Patrick Collins.
Okay.
From the Tekken scene, who went by the name of I Love Your Mom, but he passed away like right away in the year, and we had a fundraiser for him. Right. And then, you know, earlier this, just a few months ago, Pusha T passed away. Not only did he pass away, but he passed away almost like literally on stream, which is really bad. But shout outs to the entire FGC coming together for him. And just earlier, like maybe yesterday or the day before, Nerdjosh, I saw on his Twitter that Vincent Del Pino, a.k.a. I can't pronounce his last name, but it's like Scott Hanessian.
Oh, Hanessian, probably.
But I remember seeing his name all over the place.
Yeah, me too.
And Nerdjosh, you know, credits him with learning fighting games practically. Right. And apparently he has a super strong reputation for throwing people.
I gathered that.
From all the tweets and stuff like that. And I know that there's a lot more people. I mean, I kind of remember there was a couple of other people who passed away this year as well. I couldn't remember all the names, but it was just it was a weird thing that just happening this year. And, you know, I definitely wanted to just, you know, don't forget these people who helped. You know, every individual shapes the fighting game community, no matter what. So, you know, definitely, like if without Vincent Del Pino, we might not have even had Nerdjosh, right? So you never know. So shout outs to everybody in the community. Everyone's important. So yeah, I
definitely agree. That's a good one to bring up. My number 3 is Pepidai plus Kappa.
Okay.
That's how I wrote it down. I just thought it was great. You know, we talked about it earlier. You were talking about Pepidai, how his life basically totally turned around because some of his friends convinced him to drive down to TGS, and that was just everything snowballed after that. So great job on his part, but also really good job on some members of our Kappa, and it wasn't just our Kappa. There were also Japanese and Korean people who were donating. I really like the idea of like a crowd-funded player.
Yeah,
I think that's a really, really cool idea. It's something that doesn't really happen in other games. They crowdfund other things like prizes, but as far as like sending somebody around, it doesn't happen quite as often. So it's something that I would love to see happen more. I was really impressed by it. I felt like it you know, they did it before. They did it with Alex Myers. They did it with Tampa Bison. But not to the same degree and not to the same sort of impact.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, they were trying to get him into Capcom Cup even by sending him over to DreamHack, right? So, yeah.
Really good job.
Okay. My number 2 is actually Smash and how hard it's going into competitive gaming, the mainstream competitive gaming.
Okay.
How quickly it's just kind of gone there because a lot of players got signed this last year.
Yeah.
A lot of Smash players. And not even just like signed by like, here's some little small group. I mean, this is like Curse and you know, EG
Mortality,
and all these things,
and all sorts of stuff.
And then of course Nintendo with Smash Wii U, you know, giving them the GameCube controller, running the E3 Invitational, inviting all those guys over there and everything like that. And you know, everyone's assuming at Apex, you know, the reason why Project Melee is not there is probably Nintendo is trying to help them out and stuff like that. So seems like to me Nintendo's trying really hard here. I know a lot of Smash fans were disagreeing with me that Nintendo is just going to give up and not care like all the time. But I mean, it feels like to me they're trying. I mean, they even put in a For Glory mode into the game.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
yeah.
So I mean, I just feel like they're doing a really good job. Their community's doing a really good job getting into that zone. You know what I mean? And it's really interesting because on one hand they are, on the other hand they are not, because I remember after Capcom Cup, and especially the announcements, I saw a lot of people on Twitter, or Smash players on Twitter, being like, man, why can't we have a Nintendo Cup and stuff like that? So, you know, it's kind of both ways, but I just feel like that they're advancing so fast, and I think it's really impressive, the strides that they've made in this last year. I mean, dude, they had like I forgot how many. Well, anyways, I'm going to talk about it later. So
they did sort of have a Nintendo Cup. I mean, I guess not really, but it was like the opening Smash 4 tournament.
That
was a whole shindig.
Like
there were a lot of planning went into that. It was really fancy and fancily done, and they brought players and commentators from all over the country. So.
Right, exactly, which is really cool.
Yeah,
so
totally. Yeah. My second story is European Street Fighter.
Okay, that's a good one.
European Street Fighter.
I'm sad I missed that one. Actually, that's a really good one. Okay, yeah.
Look, it's better. They're better than us. that sucks, but it's accurate. I really feel like that's accurate right now.
I agree.
I feel like they are more on par with East Asia than we are.
We're back.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're back.
Oh, we're back. Okay, sweet. Okay. Where did we get cut off?
That's a good question.
Where did we get cut off, guys? What was the last thing that you heard?
I think people heard me saying that Europe is better than North America in Street Fighter.
That we got dumped?
Because I saw some people reacting to that. So nothing really happened after that.
Okay.
That was it.
We were just talking about how, that we just basically got dumped. Yeah. U.S. is definitely shamefully in third place right now. And that's the truth. So, yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, that's
good job. I mean, I feel like it's kind of sucky to just say Europe. I mean, good job to the United Kingdom and to France and to Sweden and to Netherlands and all over the place.
Absolutely. So okay.
Sweden.
Sorry, I was checking my Twitters to see what was going on here. Where am I? Okay, so my number one story of the year, I mean, happened just right at the end, which was Capcom Cup 2015 announcement.
Okay.
So, I mean, that to me was story of the year because...
Okay, but what part of it? Is it the Street Fighter 5 or is it the 500,000?
Both, I guess. Yeah. Really, just everything that came out of Capcom Cup was... Street Fighter 5 came out of nowhere for me. Like, I was like, what the hell? Me too. Like, what the hell? Where did this come from? And it was really cool that, to see that it's being worked on and that it was that far along. But, the Capcom Pro Tour coming back and Sony, helping out with that, helping us get to $500,000 for the entire year. And, as things go, with that kind of money on the line, with that kind of exposure, that might mean more sponsors. Prizes could go up. You know what I mean? Like, if a whole bunch of other people start jumping on board and stuff like that, it could even go higher than $500,000. Who even knows, right? But to me, kind of one of the reasons why I put Matt Dahlgren as number one is because, it feels like, we talked about playing Street Fighter, you hit a wall, and it's really hard to break that wall, but then once you finally do, all of a sudden you get better. I feel like we broke one of those walls.
Okay.
One of those. Obviously, there's going to be way more walls coming up. I'm not saying that's the only wall, but we broke one.
Okay.
And I feel like we're getting somewhere now, and I'm super excited for that. So my number one story is what's going to happen in 2015.
I think that's a good choice.
Yeah.
Mine is similar, I suppose. It's changing attitudes towards competition and community support by developers and publishers. So it's just sort of a catch-all. Because certainly that's a great example. Capcom and Sony, I guess. But it's not just even Capcom USA. Capcom Japan has streams that Capcom USA doesn't really have, where they show characters and they have like Daigo on there and he's like playing against people. That's awesome. That's something you would not have seen in years past. Nintendo. I mentioned the tournament that they had, but like, how about like Reggie talking at Evo? I mean, like Sakurai, like sort of giving in and actually trying to make a game competitive rather than explicitly making it not. Right. That's awesome. And NRS has developed developer streams, and so do Double Helix and Iron Galaxy and
what
Lab
about
Zero.
like Harada doing the beta test and streaming it? Like beta test has always been behind doors, and this time they were like everyone can watch.
For sure. And I feel like the biggest representative of that shift is Mori from BlazBlue, developer on BlazBlue, designer on BlazBlue, who earlier in the year laughed when
Breaker
Dave got hit by some like 9,000 damage combo from
Kokonoi setup,
by Pain, I think it was, and he just was laughing. And then the shift to see him at Evo and how, you know, after the amazing BlazBlue Grand Finals, see his very different reaction. I feel like that is just sort of a like representative of this shift from like, you know, well, whatever, put a game out, like people will play it or not, or you know, it'll be balanced or not, to really trying to make it more balanced and more supported and more community oriented and all that stuff.
It's awesome. Good trend. Let's hope it keeps going.
For sure.
Okay. What's next? Do you want to do another one, or do you want to take a break before we do the last three, basically, right? Or last four?
It would be last four.
Oh, last four.
No, it would actually be last five. Do you want to do one more?
Whoa, we have 5 more to go?
Yeah, we have event, match, game, player, and personal resolutions.
Holy crap. Okay, let's do one more then.
Let's do one more. Okay, so up next is event/tournament of the year.
Okay.
Did you just go first, or did I just go first? I think you just did.
Yes, I did go first. So.
My number 3 is actually Capcom Cup.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I mean, it was great. I think that there were some problems with it. I love what it says about Capcom's like intentions and all of that stuff. So it's major. But you know, there were some problems with it, so that's why I don't have it a little bit higher. But yeah, it was great.
Okay.
Overall,
look,
for sure.
I mean, last year, like I said, we excluded Evo, right?
Yeah.
Because it just felt like that it was kind of a given, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like this year, now that we're including Evo, 2 of them are kind of a given.
Yeah, basically.
That are going to be in the top 3,
basically,
right? Right. So what I decided to go completely off the wall.
Okay, cool.
With number 3, and actually kind of applaud something that I had problems with in the past, and just kind of, like you said, a lot of tournament organizers trying different things and trying to do kind of crazy ideas and stuff like that. And so I just decided to give my 3rd best event to Strong Style 5. Because they are trying something completely different.
I like it.
They did not stream the event, they not do any of that stuff, and instead they're recording it so that they could produce all the videos. This is, again, one of Seglia's ideas.
You're right. Yeah, I really should have included this earlier.
Yeah. So this was one of the things that was Seglia's ideas to do, and it's just so different. I had problems with it before, right? I mean, I still kind of am sad that I didn't get to watch it live, but I'm still, you know, really intrigued by what they tried to do, and I think it's a good idea to experiment and try lots of different things. I believe they're still working on the videos because I haven't seen them on YouTube. They're planning just to put them all out for free afterwards and just dump them all onto YouTube so you can just watch all of them. And, you know, like you said, it's good to try lots of different things. I gave it a lot of crap before, and I totally see what they're trying to do. I totally understand it. So I definitely wanted to give a shout out to it for doing something really cool. Even though I might not have agreed with it and maybe still don't completely agree with it, I applaud them for what they're trying. So I think that's really cool. I think it's really cool.
That's really good.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. My second is 37 Reloaded.
Yeah.
Is this also yours?
No, I just figured it would be in there.
It definitely is in there. Yeah. It was so fun. I hope that it happens next year, first of all, and if it does happen next year, I hope that there will be more players who come, because there were a lot of good players there for the old games, but there were also some very significant no-shows, I thought, for CVS2 and for Third Strike. And for, well, you know, Marvel did have some very top tier players, but especially I would say Third Strike and CVS2. people who I was really hoping would come and are, or at least were, some of the best in the world, they didn't show up. So that's all I'm looking forward to for next year. But other than that, it was just an awesome event. I loved the stream. Commentating it was a blast on games that I like really I miss, you know. And just being there in person was awesome. You know, getting to watch and play games. I played so much CVS2 that weekend. That was so sick. It was great. It was great. So
you know what? My favorite thing about that event was literally when we went there. It felt like the original Evos where I knew everybody.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That was really cool. So it was just great to catch up with a lot of people, talk to a lot of people, and there were some even people like Fubar Duck. He came out to that. I mean, he was planning to go to Capcom Cup. But then when he heard that this event was coming, he's like, you know what? I can only travel to one event. I'm going to go to this one because I want to play Third Strike.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's great.
So
I would love to see more people like that.
Mm-hmm,
I mean,
absolutely.
the Daigo Parry happened again.
It was
There's just a lot of good stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, my only complaint is that even if they throw it next year, we're still not going to see a lot of those Third Strike guys.
You're probably right. Yeah, unless it's on
arcade cabinet, which could have faulty buttons or whatever. Whatever, dude. But,
that's how it goes. But maybe the CVS2 players at least.
Yeah. So. I think it'll be awesome. I hope it becomes an annual thing.
Me too.
I said. So, okay. So my number 2 event is Capcom Cup.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, kind of same thing for Strong Style, doing a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Live commentary at the Warfield.
Right.
Like I think that's like a lot of people. I was debating with a lot of people on Twitter. They're like, "Why is it 2 out of 3?" Obviously, some things that some people didn't like. You know what I mean? And I was like, "Dude, like the Warfield, if you go over on time, is like not going to be fun, right? I mean, this is not going to be fun at all.
I
right?
would guess 5 digits.
Of
cost.
Probably because I mean this is the Warfield, right? I mean this is not just like some random hotel.
Digits,
in the middle of nowhere, right? So, you know, some people are like, well, then why did we bother doing it that? Why don't we throw it at a different venue? Why not just go to a hotel like all the other events, right? And the answer really is, you know, straight out of PR Rog's mouth, right? He said when he walked out on that stage to play his first match and he turned and looked at the audience and saw the stage and the balcony up there and the 2 tiers, he said he got so nervous.
Yeah.
And not only that, but he said, like, when he lost his first game, he said he felt worse than he's ever felt at, like, any tournament because it just, the pressure was there and stuff. And to me, I think that's important. And, and to produce that kind of thing, you know, to have exhibitions at venues like that, I think is a great sign. It's a great start. Someone did it. They upped the ante. Now everybody's got a call. You know what I mean? And so hopefully we'll see more of that. I mean, I still think that there's a place for, you know, events where anybody can enter.
Oh, absolutely.
There's 2 different kinds of events now, which is that and for these exhibitions. And if we have more exhibitions at venues like that, I think that'll be fantastic. And shout outs to Capcom for basically just risking a lot and saying, let's do it, let's try it. And I think the event was awesome. And we had a bunch of awesome matches. So.
Matches were good. For sure.
So there you go.
Obviously, number 1's Evo. Yeah. I don't know. What else? What am I going to say about that? Evo. Oh, if you didn't watch it. Well, if you didn't go.
Yeah, pretty much.
Useless.
Yeah. No, Evo, again, 1,600 people for Ultra Street Fighter 4. Ridiculous.
Yeah, the finals day room had a capacity of like 7,000 people.
Yeah.
It was just remarkable. And that was only half of it, half of the physical venue. So.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, if you think about it, like, back in 2003 or something like that, if you took every single tournament for like CVS2 for the entire year and added up the number of participants, it might not even make 1,600.
I think I would doubt it. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And here at this one event, we have 1,600 people in one game, which is ridiculous. Which is absolutely. I mean, it's basically you go there because you get to squash yourself in a room with 10,000 like-minded people and really just enjoy the hell out of this awesome hobby. So, yeah.
I hear that.
Yeah. My number 1 event, too. So.
Obviously.
Yep.
Obviously.
There you go. So.
Well, okay. Now do you want to take a break?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and take a break.
Okay, so after the break, we will talk about Match of the Year, Game of the Year, Player of the Year, and our personal resolutions.
All right. Be right back. Where's my mouse? There it is. Okay.